are live with episode 2 of Chinwag, or Beans on Toast, apparently. I don't know what that phrase means. We're learning here. Everyone's learning together. Like I said before, I think it's 30-30 for the two top countries is USA and the UK, or I forget if it says England or UK, I forget. So those people over there probably know what beans on toast are, and then maybe some of us over here in the US, I don't know.
How's it going?
Beans and Franks?
Beans and Franks,
yeah. No. Yeah. How's the food over there? Food sucks there, huh?
It depends who you're asking, I guess.
I'm just kidding. I don't want to offend anybody. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine. It's all right up until you get up to Worcestershire and you can have the Worcestershire sauce and everything, and then everything's golden.
What do you guys use Worcestershire sauce? Oh, that was pretty good.
Yo.
Worcestershire sauce on. I don't know what to say. What do you guys dip that in, or what do you put it on? Like, what's your go-to for that?
Oh, it's got to be cheese on toast. Cheese on toast with some Worcestershire sauce. Yo.
Is that like a grilled cheese, but just
like put some bread, some cheese into the grill it, put some Worcestershire sauce or Liam Parings on. Mwah, mate, perfect.
So there's just one piece of toast and a cheese on top.
I mean, it depends how hungry you are, but yeah, you could do it with one piece. You could do it with two.
What we do grilled cheese here, and we put a buttered piece of toast. This is gonna sound real American, I guess. Like starting with butter, right? You butter a piece of toast, you put it in the pan, and you grill that side, and you flip it. You put the cheese, or two pieces rather, and then you put the cheese in the middle, and you put it's like a sandwich, Yeah,
so it's like a toasty.
Toasty. I forgot about those. I had I owned a weightlifting gym for a long time, and we had this Australian member, and we had like the Australian word of the day, and one of them was toasty, and we had to like guess which the words meant. I remember that one, toasty. And bitumen. I
feel like this is going to be an episode. We've got to do it.
Bitumen. Yeah, we should do that. We should do like an American word of the day and a British word of the day, like
let's do it.
Slang words or something. See if we know what they are, if they transfer over.
We'll put it in the Paddy Probe as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that's a good idea. I feel like most of them, they transfer. You can like guess what it is, but some of them, it's like, what are you talking about? I don't know.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. Anyways. Welcome everybody, and I feel like every time I do that intro, I feel like Matthew McConaughey. All right. You know what I'm saying? We should probably take our shirts off or something. Like that.
I don't know. I think people might not want to see that if they're actually watching.
Hey, I just got back from the gym. I feel a little swole. You see that shoulder popping right there? See that definition?
Mike's sitting there looking like Popeye.
Anyways, so this is episode 2 of Chinwag. We figured we would just, kind of keep rolling with these and get updates, throw them in whenever, we don't have a guest. So hopefully you guys like it. We had some good feedback with the banter, I guess you could say, and the feedback and hearing about like our lives and our stories, because we're always asking the questions, I guess. So maybe we'll Paddy probe ourselves one day too, or today. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Why not?
How's the outlaw coming?
Yo, I have spent all day sanding, and then some more sanding, and then just a dab of sanding on top of the sanding. I'm still in like the dusty clothes, man. I ran from the unit, came straight here and jumped on to do this, so I'm still covered in dust.
The World War II unit?
Yeah, that's it.
I forget if you mentioned it, but are you painting it yourself too, or you're just getting it prepped?
A bit of both. Currently prepping, bit of de-rusting, because the new panel, well, I say the new panels, they're about 6 years old now, but they're starting to just sort of get that little bit of tin worm. So I'm just sort of prepping what I can. And then, I'll be doing the respray myself. I've got an air compressor and a spray gun, but I'm kind of tempted just to go down the route of aerosol cans and just, take my time, do it properly, do it nicely. But if I'm doing that, do I go through the effort of learning how to spray properly?
I would, if you have the compressor and the air gun, I would do that. I feel like it's just going to come out much better and easier on you instead of a spray can, because the patterns on the spray can are just not as wide. That's the
It's so
only thing.
scattered.
Yeah, there's a few like spray cans that you can get that obviously have a better like width on it, but I feel
Yeah,
like that's the only reason that it's more difficult, in my
yeah,
opinion. I
yeah.
don't know. I'm sure there's.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I feel like
Actually,
you could do like the actual spray gun though too is going to probably kick up more dust, but
potentially, yeah.
but you could
But
probably put a pretty big drop cloth down and kind of wet the floor and stuff. I've seen some great garage paint jobs. It's also
yeah,
an outlaw. It's not a show car, so
exactly. This is, if it's going to get thrashed down a country lane, then I don't need it to be a complete and utter show car. I mean, it's going to be stripped out. It's going to have bits and bobs here and there on it. So I'm kind of leaning towards not caring overly too much to the point of like, oh my god, it's a show car. I need to look after this. But at the same time, I still want it looking relatively nice.
yeah.
The only problem is I need to find someone who knows about Webasto roofs actually, because I've got to take mine out so that I can do the roof. I don't want to
Mm.
spray the roof with the Webasto on still. So I've got to try and figure out how to take that out and put it back in, and keeping it so it's not,
Waters
yeah, so it's not
or
leaking.
somewhat
Because
watertight.
yeah, I mean it's 86, it's done well, and it still doesn't leak now. So I'm
Wow.
so scared of taking it out and it ends up leaking.
I don't remember, but my buddy, I think, put one in himself. He owns like a kind of a not a body shop, but like a fabrication shop and stuff like that. So
Mm.
I could ask him and see if it was a pain in the ass or not. But I would assume putting it back in, it would just have to be like cleaned real well with weather strip and
Yeah,
sealant and stuff like that. But I don't know. Yeah, that'd
yeah.
be.
Or
But
if
you're
any of
putting
the
so
listeners know.
yeah. Anyone chime in, send us a DM. But I would assume, or in my opinion, you're putting in so much time sanding and stuff like that. I feel like obviously it's not, you don't have to make it perfect, but you're putting so much time sanding. I would go the route with the little bit better of like a high volume, low pressure, or whatever the hell those guns are called. Just
Yeah,
something a little bit nicer. You're gonna have to probably put in prep either way, or not prep, I guess, whatever, wet sanding afterwards anyway, right?
yeah, that's it. Just to sort
So
of, get rid of the score marks, or, make it as even as possible.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
get there with
yeah.
it. What
We'll
about
get
yourself?
there.
Where you at?
Nothing, man. I keep. I don't know. I'm not motivated right now because I don't have all the parts that I want, and I'm the that's not an excuse. I have like little things I can go work on, but like when I don't have everything like lined up, I feel like, all right, if I just go down there and I finish this one task in like 10 minutes, then it's like, I don't know. I like to be like, all right, if I finish it, boom, I can go on to the next thing, the next thing, next thing, and
Yeah,
if I don't have it there, I just like don't want to do it. So
yeah, I feel that.
that's kind of
I
where
can
I'm at.
appreciate
I
that.
want to, yeah, it's like I want to go down. Like everything's pretty much ready to, I guess, go back in. I have to pop off the pot joints still; those are jammed on there. But like I said, it's not that big of a deal. Like nothing major. I wanted to pull off the actual rod change shifter, pull it out, clean it, make sure it's greased properly. If it, I think it has grease inside of it. And I have like new bobbins to put on top. So, but like
Yeah,
nothing major. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, that's it. Just
So
your little tinkering jobs rather than a mass.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Anyways,
we'll we'll get you there, man. We'll get that
we'll go.
motivation back.
Yeah, well, yeah, no doubt. When the parts arrive, that's when it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
let's go.
yeah. I
So
mean, that's what I was like Thursday when I messaged you, and I was like, when I picked up that part, I was like, "Yo, let's go, let's get it fitted." And then I'm like, "Damn, I can't fit it yet. I've still got to do other things to it first."
I forget what I got. Oh, I got the steering wheel. I got the little shift extension thing, and I went down there and just messed around for a bit. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll yeah. I'll amp back up, and it's like great weather out right now. It's still 68 to 70 in the day, but it's
Wait,
like
wait.
got that it's got that crisp air, so I love being in the garage at that
Wait,
time.
is it? Surely it's good weather all year round for you guys, unlike it is here in the UK. I mean, we've just had mass flooding all over the entirety of the UK, man.
It is. Well, right now it says it's 57 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's perfectly sunny. It's going to get to, let's see, probably like 68 or 70 today. Let's
Oh,
see.
only.
Let's see. Ooh, 69. So, perfect. Yeah, but it's like it's a different 70, right? It has like a little bit of a crisp air. It's perfect driving weather for British cars. And I like to just go
When
to
they're
the
not going to
garage,
rust
open it
away.
up. Yeah. It's driving season, baby. So I'm
Yeah.
getting amped, but I just want to get, everything there so I can. It's one of those things like I ordered a bunch of parts and I know I'm forgetting something, so I need to like do it, and then I don't know. I
we
make
need
excuses for myself.
we need to get you a third mini, man, so you can drive around for a little while. It's like you're trying to get me to get another mini.
This is my driving mini. It should be driving. It was just well, that's a perfect segue into the second part of this story. The last Chinwag I ended off of got the engine back in there, right? And the next day I was about to set off for the Overcrest Rally up to Idaho. So I think that's a perfect segue into kind of like why I'm in this situation right now, right?
That's it.
Because this is my driver, dude. I worked on this car for maybe a couple. Just backstory. I don't even remember how much I've told it. I think the first episode I kind of told this. I got it and it was rusted out, everything. I got it running, and just drove it, and
Yeah.
it never had any issues. Little things obviously that I would just fix from time to time, but it never failed me. So anyways, so I just took the plunge to fix the bearing that I knew was rattling. It didn't blow, which I surprised. Anyways, so we get just a quick recap, everyone. I got the engine back together, got it back in the car. The brakes were leaking, the master and the clutch were kind of leaking, so I got those replaced, bled and everything like that, and everything was feeling good. So I pack up like that night. I just like wipe down the car, make it look a little presentable, just clean it out, and I got all my tools that I wanted to bring, and I got my clothes packed up, and just little things that I was just going to bring: some spare oil, some spare brake fluid, some spare I don't even remember, like spark plugs, something like that. So nothing crazy.
I bet that took up
So
so much room in the car, though, didn't it?
I had actually a great setup because the back seat, how it has like the little underneath the seat. So a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
it was just slid underneath there. I had like a oil catch can, not catch can, but like a oil tray.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
put some towels in there, some paper towels in there, like the oil in there, everything, and that slid underneath, and my tool bag slid underneath there too.
Nice.
And then I only brought like a backpack full of clothes. I just was like, screw it. So
Travel light,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I set off on this adventure, and my goal was to get to Utah, kind of where Cade lived, right?
Oh
Provo,
yeah, yeah.
Utah. Yeah. So I forget what the map actually said.
I
Maybe
think
said like,
I think you said it was like 12-hour drive from where you are, wasn't it?
yeah, I think it said like 10 or 12 hours that it was
Mm,
supposed to take me. So I figured it would take at least 12 in the mini because I'm going to be cruising, at 60 ish, and I can go faster, but it's a new engine. I didn't get to, I did do some driving before this, but I was also dealing with the brake issues. So
yeah,
it
so not full
wasn't just
transfer.
like, it wasn't first start and go, but it was not the full however many miles before the break in type of thing. um,
I mean, who needs a shakedown anyway, right?
I had a little shakedown, just baby shakedown. So I wanted to kind of vary the speed. So I was like kind of like getting on the ramp, or just like, I was just messing with it the whole time. So I realized I didn't have a spare tire, and I was like, maybe I should bring one. And so my buddy, kind of closer to LA on the way, he was like, "Yeah, just take mine, whatever." So I picked it up that morning. I think I left the house at like 5 or 6 a.m. and got to his house, 6:37, whatever it was,
Nice.
and picked up the wheel. And as I was like leaving his house, I was like, "Man, why is it feels like sluggish?" And I realized like the brakes were dragging. I was like, "Motherfucker, what's going
Oh,
on?" So I pulled off into like just a parking lot, and the wheel was so hot, and I was like, "Shit!" Like the brake drum, like I couldn't figure it out. Like the rear brakes were just like locked.
yeah.
So I didn't have a jack, and I was like, damn it, that's a bad so I realized there was a Walmart across the street that was opening up at like 8 or whatever like that. I walked over and got one of those like mini jacks for like $40, which was actually perfect because it
That's
fits underneath the seat as well. So I'm in the parking lot, and I pull this thing off, and I just dial back the adjuster a little bit, freeze up, brakes cool down, everything like that. I was like, what the, I wonder what's going on.
weird. Yeah.
And I free up, I'm start going again, and that took an hour or so. And for those that lived in the United States or live in the United States, I don't know if you remember this time last year. Um, I don't remember if it was late September, early October. There's like this weird heat wave everywhere. It was like over 100 degrees, and I like already had planned this route before this had happened, and I was like, so that's why I was trying to leave early to beat the heat because I was about to go through the damn desert in Nevada and Utah, and this happens, and I'm like, shit. So I'm like driving, everything seems to be fine, and it's like the heat is climbing. It's like 100 degrees. It's
Jeez.
like getting past 100. Now I'm in the desert, and it's like 110, 115, and I'm like, oh my god, my car's gonna blow up. It's gonna overheat. Luckily, the car did great. Like it was still, the coolant was, the temperature was good, everything was good. So I had to keep stopping because I was so damn hot, and I
Have
was
you not
just
got
like,
AC in it then?
what? Why would I
Oh
have
yeah.
AC?
Damn. Have you not got AC?
No, why would I have
Mate,
AC in mine? This
Mr.
shit,
California doesn't have AC. What's going on, man?
it doesn't even have a headliner. Well, like, why would I have AC in there? No AC. It's a UK car. It's a
Mm.
um so no AC. So I had to have the windows down just for air. And every time an 18 wheeler, or what you guys call lorries, passed me, or and I definitely wasn't passing it. They were passing me.
Yeah.
It was just like this blast of hot
Oh.
air just in my, and I was like, "Ugh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it." And so I'd make these stops, and then as I would be pulling in, like the car was running good, and I didn't feel any weirdness on the brakes, but I was just cruising. But every time I basically tapped the brakes, I would immediately feel this drag. I was like,
Mm.
what the hell is going on? So it was like, I don't know, a couple hours in, I was like, all right, I'm going to stop for water and just fuel up. And my brakes were, locking again. They were just getting kind of tight. And I was like, what
Yeah.
the heck is going on? I was like, I couldn't figure out. I was like, is the master cylinder fluid boiling or overheating, or is it too high? I couldn't figure it out. So I was just tinkering with it. So every stop I would have to like kind of like let it cool down. And so I keep going. Like I let it cool down. They kind of free up a little bit. I'm like, all right, I can't. Don't touch the brakes. And I'm still like close enough, I guess, that I could turn back around. But I was like, nah, I could figure this out. It's got a brand new master cylinder here. There's like I could figure this out.
Yeah, it's got to be an easy fix somewhere, surely. You've
I
overlooked something small, yeah.
Yeah, at this point I figured like I either adjusted it weird, or they were just really hot because it was like almost, I forget, I would have to look on my phone. I took like screenshots every like so often. It was like 115 or 16 at the
Damn.
hottest, and yeah, it was like I don't know what that is in Celsius, but hot.
It's chuffing
Yeah,
hot, yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Let's just Google this real quick. 115 Fahrenheit to Celsius, just for reference. It's
Probably about
46. 46.
damn. Yeah, that's more than enough in a mini.
Yeah, so I figured like that was maybe contributing to the brake issue. But knock on wood, the engine was running great. So this happened several times, and I was like in the parking lots, in the gas station, like jacking the car up, trying to figure out what was going on, trying to free up the wheel. And at first I thought it was only the rear. Um but I got it, long story short, on the way out there. I get it to Provo, Utah, and I pull in, and because of the heat, because of this brake issue, and I was stopping because I was overheating, and the brakes were freaking about to be on fire if I tapped them. It took me like, I think I got there at like 1 a.m. or something stupid. Like,
Damn,
so it was just a hell of a day. I
that's a
was
long day.
long day, dragging ass. I hadn't eaten because I was just so hot. I was just drinking, and I roll in. I get there, and I don't know. Apparently, there was still a guy to actually check in, so I check in and I go back out to the car to drive around the place to go to my spot, uh, closer to the room, and the car wouldn't start. And I was like, "What?" I was
Shit.
like, "What?
Oh,
What?"
mate.
That was not my issue all day long. It was freaking humming, and I was like, "Oh, he's just tired. He's tired. I'm just gonna let him rest." So
What's
I put it
the
in neutral and I just roll it down the street. It's like 1 a.m. Across the parking lot. I pull it in and whatever. I snap a picture. I'm like, post. I was like, I made it. Not without problems. I ordered like some Uber Eats or something, and they
yeah.
got there, and I ate. I was just like, I'll deal with it in the morning. So I get up, and so by this time I had hit like my first break-in mile period that I wanted to do another oil change. So I get up in the morning, I pull off the valve cover, and I do like a valve check just to make sure everything's still in spec. Check over the engine, everything looks good. Put it back in, and still wouldn't start. Nothing, like not anything. I was like, what? The battery's brand new, so I was like, is the alternator? And I don't know. So I had like a one of those jump start kind of kit things with me too, and I just put it on to the battery, and it started, but like foreshadowing here, that wasn't the issue. It just like happened to work, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just luck of
Just dumb luck, yeah. And it was cool by this time because I was in Utah, and it was kind of getting towards the mountains, I guess, a little bit. So it was out of the desert, and it was not blazing hot anymore. So I didn't notice any brake issues. And I
saving
get over
grace.
Yeah, yeah. I get over across the street early in the morning to the AutoZone, get some oil, do the oil change in the parking lot, which is awesome. For some reason, I feel like super manly doing that,
I don't know. I'm sure every American program or every American sort of podcast I listen to or see, there's always some guy in a parking lot doing an oil change. I don't understand why.
I mean, I don't think typically I would ever do that, but I was in the middle of nowhere. Not really. It was actually a decently sized town, Provo is, and but I had to. I was just doing a. It's not like some podunk town, like some guy just I need an oil change in the
I think
AutoZone parking lot.
I was gonna say, have you guys got like designated parking areas just for an oil change out there?
Nope. Nope. I asked the guy, I was like, hey, I'm on this road trip. I need to do an oil change. Is it okay? And he was like, yeah, sure. Just don't spill. I was like, I'll try not to. So, yeah, because I can take it back, the oil directly back in, and they can dispose of it. So,
Oh, that's pretty chill.
yeah. So I was oil changing. Everything was good, and just, on my way. So now I'm actually trying to get to Idaho, and everything's kind of going good. I don't really notice any brake issues, but now I realized, I can start giving a little more beans, and I realized I made a stupid error, that I'm going from sea level, which my car was tuned perfectly for, to altitude. and I didn't bring any needles to change in the carb. So like my car was starting to run super rich. So I like had like no power after like 4,000 RPMs or something like that.
It was just gutless.
Yeah. I mean, up to that, it was pretty fast. It just had nothing after that.
So is this on the 38 that you've got?
I have a HIF 44.
Oh, was it 44? Sorry, I thought you had 38.
Yeah, this
Ah,
is on the HIF 44.
nice.
Um, and I forget what needle I had in there, but it was a richer one. For some reason, it just ran really great at sea level. Um, so I just left it in there after the rebuild, and I needed to kind of dial it back for some reason. I don't know. Like I said, I was rushed, and it ran. It wasn't like it was good at my house, which is sea
Yeah.
level. So I'm cruising away and still going, and making another pit stop just for some gas, and I get out and the car doesn't start again. And I'm
Mike.
like, what the heck is going on? And I do the at this point I was thinking, oh, maybe it's the battery again. Like, let's try to jump start it, and that didn't work. And then I was like going through, I was like, but nothing's kicking on. Like, it's not like this. I thought I was like, oh, maybe it's the starter, but there was like no power.
You getting like
So I was
no
like,
clicks
what?
or anything on the key?
No, not yeah, no nothing. So I was like, it has to be like maybe a ground or something.
Yeah.
So I start just like wiggling wires and stuff, and then I finally like pulled off like the main kind of ground strap thing that, um, and I cleaned it a little bit, plug it back in, tighten up the power to the starter, and that immediately like boom, and I was like, oh, what the like, all right,
Because
either it was just dirty and hot from the day before or something, I don't know.
all the
So
dust from the desert and yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm assuming that was it, and that got me going again. Enter that was like right when I got into Idaho, so I was like, I'm so close, I'm so close. Um,
Like crawling across the finish line for that checkpoint.
yeah, yeah. It was hilarious, but and this whole time, like I'm in the middle of nowhere, just driving, and so every stop, I'm like updating my friends and my wife and my family, and and I'm like texting them like with a picture. I'm like, I'm stranded.
I'm
I'm
still alive, yeah.
stranded in the middle of nowhere, Idaho, like right on the border. There's tumbleweeds,
Oh
and they're
damn.
like, "Oh no!" And
So
so it was.
was it just yourself then, or you didn't have a co-driver or anything?
Oh, solo, baby, just solo.
Damn.
My wife was gonna go, but we have my dog here, and he was still a puppy at the time, and it wasn't fair to leave him with
Yeah.
anybody. And to be fair, my wife didn't really want to go on this massive road trip in bucket seats in my freaking classic mini,
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore if you're gonna do that, really, isn't it? It's
Yeah, and she wanted to go to experience it and like be there, but she was like, maybe I'll meet you there or something. So to be fair, yeah, I get it. Like I find my seats comfortable, but it was rough. Like it
yeah,
was a long, hot drive, and you know, it my ass was dragging for
yeah,
sure.
I bet.
So I get that going. I figured that solution out. My brakes were fine-ish this whole way. Like I think it was maybe the cooler weather was helping out, and so I get there. It still took forever just because I definitely underestimated how long it was going to take in this car. Cause I was like, I could go 65, 70, but then I realized like how many times I would need to stop because like just hot in my ass and like everything.
You're a
Or
broken man from the start of it all.
yeah, or just stopping because like I had to fix the brakes or the car wasn't starting. So like, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes here, there, like it just added up
Chips away, doesn't it?
immensely.
Yeah.
So I finally like I roll up and I'm like pulling into town where we were starting this small town. I'm drawing a blank on what it was called in Idaho. I'll think of it later. And I just see all these classic cars and just awesomeness. It's like Old Town, Main Street, Old Town, USA, and all these cars. And then, they were like, I was like honking on the way in. They were like, "Woo!" Like everyone, like we like overran this town, this group, and it was
That's
just
so
so
cool.
cool. And that night we had like the intro party and check in and like drinks and stuff like that. And I was like trying to tune my car to try to get it a little bit better. And
So wait, this was just to get to the start of the
oh, this
event.
was just to get to the start. Yeah.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
next episode I'm going to tell you about the
Oh my
actual
god.
event, but this was just to get there. Yeah, it took it. I I think I estimated. Let's do it live. I'm just going to do it live. Let's see.
That's
I'm going to go
insane.
Provo. No, no, no. Like I think it was. I'm just going to do this. Phil. I'm googling right now where I think it was to start. Let's see. It'll give me a good estimate how long it'll get there. Yeah, just to get to the start from my location was a little over 1,000 miles.
Bloody hell. That's a rally in itself.
Yeah, and this wasn't the exact route I went because I went over to Utah and up. So yeah, it was a little over 1,000 miles to get there. But
Jeez.
it was as crazy and annoying as this sound, it was just so cool, dude, to be out there knowing that I just had built this car or engine rather, and I was driving it across. The smile on my face the whole time was just amazing, and
I
all
can
of those
imagine.
little setbacks, like I didn't care. It was just like it was another like part of the story. It was another chapter, and it was like I knew I was going to fix it for the
Yeah.
most part. Hopefully, I was knocking on wood, but like the times that they wouldn't start and then it cranked over and I was like, yeah, let's go. And there was somebody at the gas station that was asking me about the car as I was working on it. It was just
That's a good
a
feeling.
great feeling. And rolling into the start of the rally and everyone was there. And, I knew some of them from Instagram or social media. So they knew I was the only mini there. So they saw, it was just like a
Yeah.
great feeling. And all right, step one's over. Like we accomplished this. Let's just have fun. Let's get through the rally and have fun with it. So, yeah, it was amazing just to get there. And, obviously day one was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I was gonna
driving
say it
through
sounds rough.
driving through Death Valley, the desert, and Nevada, like Las Vegas area in that heat was so bad.
Oh, I
But
can
once you
imagine.
get up to the mountains and stuff like that, oh man, it was just the sunsets while driving. It was just amazing.
That's
So
what it's about.
it was an adventure in itself to even get there, and the rally. I'll talk about the rally and then the trip home on two separate episodes because they're all kind of this length. I guess I can make them just because it'd be a pretty long story, but it's super fun, and I encourage you. The motto of Overcrest, which is a great podcast, a great company that they do these rallies, is take the car. And that's exactly what this was. And I was like, I love driving. Like, I'm not afraid to drive this car because I know, like I said, majority of the things that break, unless it's catastrophic, I can fix it. I know it. And let's just go have fun. Like, who
That's
cares?
it.
Like, the
Yeah.
brakes work. That's not if the brakes were like not breaking, that'd be a bigger issue. Like, like they were working really good. They just, get
Too
stuck a
good.
little bit. Too good.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I got to dial something back. All right.
Yeah.
So,
No, I get
man,
you.
it was amazing. It was
The thing is,
amazing.
I guess every day was a learning curve with it as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And now I have, even more respect for the car because of what it did. Like,
Yeah.
I for sure thought something was going to fail in that heat. It was insane.
Yeah,
Um,
because minis aren't really known for not overheating.
right, right. Absolutely. I was shocked,
Yeah.
Um,
So have
you know,
you got an alley rad in it then? Or you just got the
it,
OEM?
No, I do. Yeah, yeah. I had the OEM one for a while, and I wanted to keep it because I did hear that what is it, brass or copper,
Yeah,
brass, right?
I think it's the brass.
Uh,
Yeah,
I heard those are better at cooling, um, but it sprung a leak, and I it's hanging on my wall. I keep thinking I'm gonna try to take it to a radiator shop and see if they can fix it.
yeah, just sort of braise it up together.
Yeah, but I know that they're not as strong with PSI, but I think it would work in my scenario. But I
Yeah,
do have an alley one that also sprung a leak, and then I got it welded back up, and it works fine. I don't know.
yeah, as long as it works, it's the main thing, isn't it? Really.
The one thing I like about that one over my stock one is it has the little drain plug, but I think somebody capable could probably add that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I
it
would
shouldn't be
assume.
too hard to do, or too hard to find someone who would be able to do it for you. So at
Yeah,
least you got a
yeah.
backup.
Excuse me. Yeah. I mean, I thought they were like kind of. I mean, there are expensive ones, but they're not that expensive. I mean, there's some cheaper ones out there that work fine.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you use the car for as well, doesn't it? Really, if you know
Exactly.
if you're going to do a long trip like you've just done, just to even get to the start, you're going to need something that's going to be able to handle that heat of the desert at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. My car does have the external, like the like electric fan on it too.
Yeah,
That I need to rewire. I kind of Jimmy rigged it to another switch in the car, and it works, but it seems like it pulls power from other things. So I want to, and I have like a relay and everything on it. I just kind of like used the power from that switch. So I'm gonna undo that and try to do a whole new setup with just a new switch. I didn't want to like put another switch in the car, but I feel like that's probably the better solution.
you just have all of the switches in your dashboard. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I because I used the I think it was the rear defroster, and people are probably going to lose their mind. I don't know if this is bad for the car or not, but I used the rear defroster. I unplugged all of that, and I just took the power from that and I spliced in a relay and ran a wire. However, I don't know. I'm not up to. I don't know. I follow diagrams. I don't. I ran a power wire then to the fan and used that switch instead. But I don't know if something on it feels like it draws power from the what's the thing on the back of the speedo that controls the power to the water temperature and the fuel gauge. What are those called? You know what I'm talking about?
no, to be honest, I've never had my speedo off or apart, so I've no idea.
It's on the
Uh,
center, like the center bin. People know what I'm
I
talking
see.
about,
I
but
don't have a center binnacle.
that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have that. So it's the I don't know. It's the thing that basically I think it like lessens the power to those two gauges, and for whatever reason when I flip it on, something's crossed, or maybe I don't want it to short out. Something's like crossed because it like dips down the fuel gauge a little bit.
Ah,
So I
okay.
don't I don't know if it's like I don't know what's going on with it. So I don't feel comfortable with it. I want to switch it out and
Yeah,
I probably
makes
shouldn't have
sense.
done it in the first place, but I thought that was a clean. I don't use the
Well, the thing is,
we.
like, I fully understand your logic because if you're out in California, you're not going to need a defroster on the rear screen, are you? Like,
That's
there's just
that's
no
my
sense at
point.
all.
Yeah, that's my point. I don't need it, and it works, and it lights up, so I know when the fan's on. Like.
That's it.
Yeah, I need to figure out though a way, like maybe I think my car has wires underneath it. This maybe it's the same rabbit hole. My car has the radio wires, I think, and
Yeah,
I want to find. Do you know if those have constant power? Like, could you turn it on when the car's off?
yeah. So I know
See,
mine for a fact did have a constant live, but I'm currently going down that rabbit hole of taking all the wiring loom out and splicing in a brand new loom. So I'm going to
mm-hmm.
get rid of that constant live because I don't need it. I'm not going to have music or anything in mine. So
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to do. Get it from a constant live source. So when I do turn the car off and it might be hot out, keep running because I know like on some of my canyon runs, like I'll blast uphill, like on a
yeah,
like a hill run.
I mean,
and it gets real hot. So just when I turn the car off at the top, just flip the fan on so it's still, I
the,
don't know if that really helps or not.
the I
Draws the
reckon.
air out of the bay, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon the best thing that you probably could do at that point is if you parked up your stationary, you just want the car to cool down, electric water pump, man, and just keep that water just flowing through the block, even with the engine off. It'll
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
down a
that,
lot better.
yeah. So I guess I could technically just leave the car on, let the coolant go, and have the fan on. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll figure it out. See, that's something I could go work on the garage in, but I also have everything unplugged, so there is no power. So it's just like, just wait until, I don't know,
wait
whatever.
until you connect everything back up. Yeah,
Yeah,
catch 22.
I also got the the Smith's water gauge, water temp gauge with the capillary one. That's like,
Nice.
because I'm for sure my gauge is like busted, or the power to it or something, because it's just like, I don't think my car is overheating, but sometimes it like raises a little bit because I have the infrared light and it's like nothing's hot. So
Yeah,
I want to see what it actually is with like a thermos, like a whatever, I don't know, is it
like a
called a
proper
thermostat?
digital gauge rather than an analog
Like
style.
yeah, a mechanical
Yeah,
one, I guess you would call it. I want to see like what's the actual temperature. Is it actually overheating? Then we'll figure out the fan situation, and I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think it's overheating, but
No,
clearly it didn't overheat in 115-degree weather.
I mean that's pretty good going.
Right?
I wouldn't
Yeah,
argue with that.
that's what I'm thinking. So
Because that's the only gauge that ever worked in my Mini was just the temp gauge. I had no
yeah.
speedo, no revs, no fuel gauge, nothing. All I
Oh, so
had was water
you
temp.
had one of the capillary ones?
Yeah, I've got the the 1275 GT3 cluster one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got that.
Nice.
But even then, I didn't know how accurate that water temp gauge actually is. So
Yeah, yeah. I put I've tested it several times with like temp, like a infrared temp gun, like on the block at the thermostat, or yeah, like at the thermostat housing. Different parts on the head, on like the radiator, like everywhere, and nothing indicated that it was, overheating, even though the gauge showed to be a little bit hot.
yeah.
I even put like like a food thermostat, you know what I'm talking about? I
Oh
put that
yeah.
in the in the radiator, like with the cap open in the water, and it was fine.
Ah,
Nothing
happy
was like,
days. As long as it
yeah.
works, it's
Yeah, I don't know. So that's why I'm curious of what the this new gauge will actually read, because it's like, actually reading the temperature of the water, like with like a the capillary or whatever it's
that's
called.
it.
So
And then it's learning how to trust it as well, isn't it? That's the other hard thing.
yeah, yeah. There's no signs of overheating. It never like steamed or anything. I've seen some minis freaking rolling into shows like boiling
Yeah.
over.
I was one of those last year, so yeah. Have you still got the heater
Yeah.
matrix inside then?
Nope. Took it
No.
out.
Good
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Because I got this car in Hawaii, so when I first started, I was like, I definitely don't need a heater in Hawaii.
Nah.
So there are some mornings here that, especially in the winter, and it might be 40 or 50 out, which is, kind of cold. But yeah, I don't need it. And that's another thing I got too, is new coolant hoses. And
Oh yeah.
I actually got the one that is deletes the heater
Yeah,
portrait
yeah.
instead of my Jimmy rigged one that loops it back in.
Yeah, because that's what I'm on at the moment. I'm on an Irish sort of Jimmy rigged style.
Yeah, mine's like looped back in some weird way, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know the theory or the science behind it, but people, when they say, you're check if you're overheating or whatever thing, flush the radiator, change your hoses. Like, I don't, is there like buildup inside the hoses? I don't know, but those are the original hoses, so I would assume it could
Yeah.
help. I don't know.
Were they like an orange rusty colour when you took them off?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, I've cleaned them pretty good. They're still pretty malleable, and I've kept up with everything. But it's just good to kind of get the proper ones in there and new ones,
Yeah.
and um, yeah. It's got a new water pump. Well, fairly new at this point, but everything's so might as well do the hoses.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It makes sense if you've already done everything else, then why not get the other pipes and hoses and stuff that you need? At least then
Yeah.
you have some trust in it and you'll be able to rely on it.
Yep. 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 Yeah. Because my A plus, it was like a SPI engine, so it had the stack on the thermostat. You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
middle sandwich plate. So I'm getting rid of that and just cleaning it up, less places to leak. So I have that flat, and so I'm getting the a new hose and the new bracket because I have to get a new bracket because the old bracket attaches to the sandwich sleeve. So it'll be clean, simple.
Yeah,
Hopefully everything looks good,
that's
and
it.
I'll be away we go.
Happy days, man.
Happy days. Anything else you got for the peeps? What anything else going on? What's the next step for your car?
Next step is I don't want to admit it, and I really don't want to be diving into this, but I got to take the engine and front subframe out. I
Bow, bow,
really,
bow.
yeah, I really don't want to do it. It's just so much hassle and work. But I've got a little acorn sized hole just underneath where the subframe mounts onto.
Where
So
the subframe, like on the bottom, like the heel board area.
yeah, yeah. So I've got to take all that off.
That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's the only hole that the car's got. So I'm pretty happy.
I'm pretty sure that mine has a few holes that were very small holes that were filled with fiberglass.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I know that I did when I first got the Mini. I patched a few holes with some booger welds, and yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah. I just
Hey, it's not rusting now, so who cares?
yeah.
It
Yeah,
worked. It
that
stopped
part will
it.
never ever rust.
Stopped it, man. It's not. It's fine. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah. It's not getting worse yet. It never
Give it
goes in
time.
water. It never goes in water. It's in dry climate.
Yeah, well, until your next rally, and then you realise you're going to go through a lake or a ford with it, and you're going to be like, "Oh shit!"
Well, the part in the boot that I fixed, the kind of where the subframe meets, and I forget exactly, but like I put that in, and then I sprayed a bunch of Raptor liner and everything, and it doesn't look like it's rusting or bubbling or anything.
Nice. So that's
Surprised.
maybe what I should do: use that Raptor lining on the underside and just sort of see how that goes.
Yeah, I did a ton of underline or whatever it's called.
The
I
undersill.
tried to scrape. Yeah, I tried to scrape off I was doing this on my back on a driveway outside, so I scraped off as much as I could, and tried to spray as much as I could, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's listen, it's a driver. It's not the S.
Yeah.
It
That's
might have
exactly why
its
I'm looking
day.
at mine.
Yeah.
That's it. As long as
Yeah.
it can be driven and it doesn't fall apart halfway down the road, I'm happy.
There we go.
That's it.
All right. Well, you want to wrap this bad boy up? Put a
Yeah,
bow
let's
on it?
do it. Yeah, I think that's a good point to pause and keep people on their toes for the next one about your adventure.
Yeah, yeah. We'll do part 3, and we'll talk about the actual rally, which was amazing, and I'll pull back the kind of the route we took and the cities and stuff like that, or towns rather. And
Hell
then
yeah.
part 4 will be the adventure home, which was also super epic, and I think I figured out exactly what was going on with my brakes. Thanks to the wonderful people on Facebook groups and the mini community.
Lifesavers.
And then, yeah, we'll just keep plugging away. We have some sweet episodes coming up. I don't know when this one will actually drop, if we'll do it in order or not, but we have we always have some good shit planned,
Oh,
right?
we've had some amazing people on here. Like the characters we've met are absolutely fantastic. Everyone's
I
so
really,
great.
dude, the stories, man. And when I first started this, I was like, oh, it's a cool kind of concept. And dude, it doesn't cease to amaze me. Like The last one that we did, I won't. So I won't. It's it's coming out Monday.
Hey.
But I don't know which one it is actually. But the one that we recently recorded that is coming out this Monday, like I had no idea. Like I just
Yeah,
didn't expect that story, and it was just
unreal.
cool.
Like blew me away.
Yep. Yep. So it's fun. It's cool. I'm excited to get more of you guys on, and I'm excited to have recaps with the ones that we've already had on. And yeah, reach out to us, theminilife@gmail.com. Instagram is minilife.37, at Scrapyard for Sean, at Goldtooth Cray for Mike. There's some underscores in there, but I'm sure you'll find it. Yeah, man, I appreciate everyone. We are approaching 10,000 listens very fast. So thank you, everybody. There's still a few stickers left, at least the time of recording. So, and we're trying to work on some merch because I know a few of you have reached out and you really loved Sean's drawing, which was super cool. So we're trying to put that on a shirt, maybe some hats. We're trying to figure out where to put all this stuff so it's not in 15 different locations.
That's it. Try and make it
I just
nice and easy for you all.
Yeah, I don't. It's the difficult part, Sean, is the quality in having everything at one spot. Like these stickers are great, but
That's
they
it.
don't drop ship, so they're amazing quality. So okay, I have the stickers. I'll ship those myself. There's a place that does shirts that are, I find, really good quality. But they don't have hats.
That's
And then I
it.
found another place that has the cool hats, and it's like, I don't know. So you guys tell us what you think, what you're interested in. If you are, I'm not one to just put out merch to put out merch because me personally, I don't, I maybe follow different places, but if it's like me trying to just rep my podcast company, like that's weird. But like, do you guys like Mini Life? I feel like it's very neutral. It's like you guys like classic minis, so we're kind of trying to keep it in that realm and not necessarily like, I don't know, self promoting the company. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying.
I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to call anybody out, but like there's certain creators, I guess you would call them, that they have their name on the product. Like I'm not trying to put like my name on the product. It's like
Yeah,
it's
we're
just about
not
me.
trying to push out content for the sake of just pushing out content. We want to make sure it's as good as quality as we possibly can for you guys to enjoy, whether it be the podcast or a little bit of merch here and there. We just want to make sure everyone's enjoying it and everyone's happy to join in and feel like they're being involved in our conversations.
Exactly. And I think I told you this. I started, well, the concept of mini life started like back in like 2016 or 17. And I was like, oh, I love t-shirts and I love logos and design and stuff like that. Like nothing crazy, but just I like that. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll make like a classic mini like merch line just because I like it.
That's it.
And that's kind of where it started. So that's kind of what I'm getting at is like, if you guys like classic mini and it's not, in your face or the typical just like mini drawing on there, maybe a little bit more classy, if you will. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So if you guys are interested, let us know what you're looking for, if you're looking for it at all. And I want to make it, accessible if I can. So
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
happy days.
Happy days.
Nice and light.
Beans on cheese toast, you know, you know, bangers and mash.
Oh mate, you can't go wrong with bangers and mash.
Cannot, cannot. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. Scrapyard Sean, Mini
Thank you very
Mike,
much.
signing out. Catch you guys on the next
See you
one.
later.